Hello guys. Welcome back to my channel, Writing Practices. Today, we are going to learn how to write a tenant recommendation letter by landlord, or landlord reference letter. What is a tenant recommendation letter, or landlord reference letter? A tenant recommendation letter is a specific document that allows landlords to express a degree of confidence in a tenant. In other words, when individual tenants seek housing in a different property, the former landlord may write a letter of goodwill that will serve as a reference to the new landlord. Here, Writing Practices will show you how to write a tenant recommendation letter step by step using a template. Check this out. First of all, you must write your personal information as a landlord. You must write your full name. Under it, write your home address. Don't forget to mention the number, street name, city, state, and zip code. You can also write your contact information, like phone number and email address. After that, write the date of the letter. You can use the format of month, date, and year. For the next, write the information about the recipient. The recipient here is the new landlord that the tenant wants to rent the property from. You must write the full name and write the recipient's address. Include the number, street name, city, state, and zip code when you write the address. And now, you can open the letter with salutation. Write Mr. or Ms. or Mrs., followed by the last name of the recipient. In the first paragraph, write the reason why you are writing this letter. You can say that this letter is a landlord reference letter where you recommend a tenant. And now, introduce the tenant. You must write the tenant's full name. And write what kind of property that the tenant rented. Mention also the location of property. You can use the street name, city, state, and zip code. And write the lease start date as well as the lease end date to complete the information. After that, you can briefly explain that the tenant is a good tenant. For example, you can tell the recipient that the tenant always paid the rent on time. Or mention how the tenant maintained the property in good condition. Or explain how the tenant was respectful to the neighbors. Just mention what you like from the tenant during the rent of your property. Remember, you want to recommend this tenant, so you must mention good things only. In the second paragraph, tell more about the personality of the tenant that impress you. For example, you can say that during the tenancy, the tenant was responsible. Or mention any other good characteristics like the tenant was trustworthy and respectful. And sometimes, the property may be under maintenance. You can also mention how the tenant helped you a lot in reporting some issues. In this example, the tenant was being cooperative with the maintenance team to resolve the issue. Of course, this personality would be loved by the new landlord. So you must include it here. But you must be honest instead of making stories, since you give your reputation where as the referencer. In the third paragraph, keep telling good things about the tenant. Besides the good personality and initiative to cooperate with the maintenance team, you can also elaborate how the tenant is kind towards the neighbors. Most landlord looking for the tenants who don't like being noisy or disturb the neighbors. If your current tenant is the one, you must write it here. And mention also the rules and regulations that you and the tenant signed in the lease agreement. You must tell the recipient if the tenant obey those rules or not. And mention also the building policies if the tenant violated the regulation or not. In the last paragraph, state clearly that you highly recommend this tenant. And show your excitement to welcome the tenant in the future if the tenant wants to rent again. Don't forget to provide your personal contact information. The new landlord may need more information about the tenant. You can give your phone number and email address. And finally, close the letter with sincerely. Add your signature. And write your full name under it. So, that's how you write tenant recommendation letter or landlord reference letter step by step by using a template. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.